Oh, man. That was totally wicked!
Season 3 of Camp Cretaceous recently just came out, and compared to the other two, I definitely like this one a lot more. The first one I liked because it was definitely more grounded, and I liked how it connected to the events of Jurassic World, whereas the second season, while still fun, it definitely jumped the shark in a lot of aspects, especially with like the whole fighting a dinosaur with a spear. But when we look at season 3, I like it because it kind of combines the events, or I guess not the events, but it combines the best of both worlds with season 3, where it has a lot more dinosaur action compared to the first season, but it also is still grounded while still kind of retaining that Jurassic World fiction status. So this one was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed this season. It's got lots of great character moments. My two favorite ones are probably with Kenji and then the little one with Dr. Wu at the end. Another kind of general thing I liked is the original death of John Hammond from the book, which is referenced, of how he falls and breaks his ankles and then he gets eaten by compies because in the book he was a butthole, to say the least. Now I guess we'll kind of talk about spoilers a little. Probably the best moments for character moments, I guess, is Kenji when he's talking to Darius at the end. He's matured a lot more. He's taken a lot more responsibility, especially compared to how he was at the beginning of this series, of being more lighthearted and goofy and kind of the prankster. And he even starts off that way at the beginning of season 3, but throughout the season you see him slowly change, and by the last episode he actually calls out Darius for one of his plans, saying something along the lines of, "I don't take risks with my friends' lives," which it's definitely a cool moment to see a character who was still fun and likable, but a little bit annoying, to kind of mature and to see it in a more natural way than just, boom, all of a sudden I'm serious, no more fun. And then the second bit is kind of with Dr. Wu, because we don't really see that much in Jurassic World or Fallen Kingdom. All you really see is him like, oh, I've made a hybrid, and that's about the extent of it. Whereas now in this Camp Cretaceous, when you see him appear in the series, it's really cool because you see him talking with Brooklyn, and Brooklyn accuses him of making monsters. And he says, well, guess what? Not all the dinosaurs I made are monsters. I mean, some of them are beautiful. And the way that she kind of calls him out for making some of the hybrids and his realization that he has, it kind of shows that he's not really a bad guy. At least, like, how the series is portraying him. He's not a bad guy. He just wants to kind of do what he loves, which is, science for him and making dinosaurs. I mean, if you had that ability because of your intellect and stuff, why wouldn't you want to do that? It just so happens that the people that are allowing him to do it, they're the ones who probably have nefarious purposes for said dinosaur. So really it just kind of shows that he isn't the bad guy, he's just more kind of caught up with the wrong group of people. The one thing that I didn't really like is there are too many references to the original movie, it feels like, where it's almost kind of annoying. Not quite, but it definitely can bug some people, and if some people are bugged by that, I totally get that. And now probably easily the best thing about the series, that being E750, aka the Scorpius Rex. To me, it does everything right that Fallen Kingdom was trying to do. I am not a big fan of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. There's a lot of problems with it for me, and probably the biggest one, I wouldn't say the biggest, but one of them, is the Indoraptor. To me, it wasn't a very creative hybrid. It just kind of looked like a smaller Indominus, but more raptor-like, which I guess that's the point, but I was just very underwhelmed with its design, even its execution, because the way they portray it, I think what they were going for is they wanted to be like a prototype, and they even mentioned that, but the way it comes off as really inconsistent in the terms of the story, whether it's like chasing down a little girl to try to eat her, but then when it gets the moment to act all scary, it'll do it super slowly. So that was kind of annoying to see something like that. And how it seemed like none of its basic senses were working despite it trying to use them. So I thought that was kind of weird, and even the whole creation behind it was dumb. Like, why would you make a dinosaur that would attack someone if you point a gun at it when you could just point a gun at the person and pull the trigger and shoot them? Whereas E70 or I'll just refer to it as the Scorpius Rex. This is easily the best hybrid that we've seen within the film canon series. I'm not including Jurassic World Evolution or any of the other games. Just within the actual filmography of the series, it's the best one because it's the first one within the lore of the story. I like how it looks really funky looking, how it's described as ugly, and I would appropriately match that term with it. So it was really cool to see that happen. I also like the way it moves. It almost kind of reminded me of a werewolf, but if it were a dinosaur. So seeing that, especially in a Jurassic Park film, when it kind of seems like we've seen everything with dinosaurs, this was really cool to see. And I liked how it was like a serial killer. And basically any living thing it would see would just attack it. How its intro is it just rushed blindsiding a Ceratosaurus and killing it. I like how it's got the poisonous quills. It's something new than just, oh, it's got teeth and claws. That's what I was kind of hoping for with the Indominus Rex or even the Indoraptor, because they kind of mentioned that they use snake DNA, so I was hoping that would happen, but it never did. So it was nice to see that incorporated with the Scorpius Rex. Kind of going back to the way it moves like it's almost in pain. Like, I know in the behind the scenes of Fallen Kingdom, they were saying that they wanted the Indoraptor to appear like it was defunctioning and it was kind of twitching and stuff. And you can definitely see that. But when you see the twitching in the film, you don't equate that with it being in pain or unstable. You almost just kind of see it like an animal that will kind of shake its head and kind of take a sniff or something like that, like how normal animals do. So in that, it didn't really appear abnormal. Whereas in this, every movement it does, where it kind of bends its arms back all the way when it's roaring, almost kind of like a human would in a way, so which kind of makes you wonder, is the Scorpius Rex part human? That would definitely be a really cool concept to bring back, especially since that was a potential concept in a scrap Jurassic Park film. Also, its roar. Its roar, again, kind of connecting back to like a werewolf. It definitely reminded me of that, especially when it was at the border camp and kind of looking at Camp Cretaceous and where the main characters are. And once it kind of sees them, it just kind of lets out this ear-shrilling roar. And this is definitely one of like the first moments in a long time where something was actually creepy in a Jurassic Park film, at least for me. And finally, I liked how it was reproducing asexually, and how this dinosaur was so unstable that even seeing another of its kind was almost like its main enemy. Because when you think about it, they're probably the only thing that could kill their own species. So seeing the reveal with them being two of them, and then of course them always fighting each other and each other being the first priority, that was really cool to see, which I really liked. And then the ending with Blue versus the Scorpius Rexes, where it's kind of like two Scorpius Rexes are fighting each other, and then Blue just kind of goes in to attack both of them. So it was nice to get more Blue, especially with the limited amount that we saw in Season 2 and 1. And yeah, I think that's pretty much the main points I want to talk about for Camp Cretaceous. This is easily my favorite season, again, and I'm interested on see where they will go. And this has gotten me excited again for Jurassic World Dominion, which I was kind of not really looking forward to, especially after the disappointment of Fallen Kingdom. So yeah, that's about it. And now to work on WandaVision, which at this rate, will this thing ever get done? Who knows? Thank you, and have a good day.